What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Your Ex Drinking Buddy with me, your host, Brennan Tassif. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Full video available there. Check out the merch store. Look at all this stuff. We got all this stuff on the merch store. It's all available on the website, BrennanTComedy.com. You can also get my tour dates there. Every show that I have coming up, I'm going to be in New York, traveling the country, doing a bunch of gigs. So check it out. Get tickets at BrennanTComedy.com. Check out the merch store. And lastly, if you really want to support, go to www.patreon.com/BrennanTComedy. And that is where you can find Tales from the Restaurant, where I divulge everything about the celebrities I wait on. And also a little bit of behind the scenes. You'll also get the episodes early, a bunch of bonus episodes. Check it all out. Thank you so much. Enjoy the episode.
Grab me a beer and grab him a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Your Ex Drinking Buddy. I am your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. It was my favorite thing to do. Hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then reminisce about those crazy stories. I am sober now, but it's still one of my favorite things to do. Hang out with somebody and reminisce about the crazy old days. Most weeks I'll be joined by a guest. This week is no exception. Over in New York City, Jack Sullivan. Ah!
Hello.
What's up, man?
Not much. I'm happy to be here.
I appreciate you coming on. We were just talking about it. We kind of been circling each other for a little while now, trying to get
a
you
long
on
time. It took me a long time, it's maybe a foolishly long time to realize, like, I need to talk about sobriety in stand-up. When I first got into it, this is so naive, but I was like, oh no, I can't talk about that.
Well, and it was interesting because the first time I saw you perform, you had mentioned something, and this was years ago, you had mentioned something about it.
Yeah.
And I immediately reached out to be like, hey, you should come on the podcast.
Yeah.
And to your point, you were kind of like, nah, I'm not really.
I know. It's funny. I was so guarded about, saying it on stage, not saying that I'm sober, but talking in detail about any of it.
Yeah.
And then, like, a year ago, are we good?
Yeah, no, you're
We're
perfect.
good. A year ago, I auditioned. I had an audition to be passed at Gotham, which was amazing.
That's huge.
Yeah. It was a disaster.
Oh, really?
No, I mean, the show went great and everything, but my feedback was just literally, you're doing an act, you're not being yourself. Like, write better.
Really?
And it's funny because then I had a really good 15-minute like professional tape. So I uploaded it and just called it The Act.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so smart. Kind of like a fuck you.
Yeah. But I mean, they were right. I hate them, but I don't hate them. Love you guys. But no, I mean, they
Andrew,
were right.
big listener of the program.
It wasn't even Andrew. It was.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, Andy Engel.
Yeah.
It was Andy. And someone told me the other day, they're like, that doesn't sound like Chris Mazzelli. I think Andy just wrote those things. And I was like, that tracks. But thank you, Andy, for all the spots. And you're welcome for all the money that you've made off of me. Oh, my God.
But that is an interesting thing. The first time I auditioned anywhere in the city, it was for Broadway. And the feedback that I got was, you're more of a storyteller, which this is how naive I was.
Yeah.
In the moment, on the phone call, I said, thank you. It's taken me a long time to find my voice. And then the booker goes, that's not a compliment.
Yeah.
He's like, this is New York. You got to be bang, 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 bang. But it's just funny how we'll get feedback and then we're like,
yeah.
Oh, I get, because in the South where I'm from, you can do long-winded stories as long as there's a few tags in between because people will listen.
Right.
The hospitality is a culture built on like, let's listen to this story.
Yeah.
But in New York, you've got like 10 seconds.
Right.
And the authenticity thing is another big thing in New York where it's like, no, we want to see who you are.
Right.
So you took that feedback and then you were like, okay, let me try to write about this.
I started writing about, I have some bits about it. I haven't really perfected it. This will probably help talking it out
100%.
here. But no, I like wanted to get more personal. I talk about coming out now. I talk about what it was like to be closeted in college. So the sobriety stuff is coming. I just want to do it right.
100%. And it is, I've been such an open book, and I forget sometimes how personal it is for people.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's an incredibly, I don't know what other people have gone through. I just know what I've gone through.
Right.
So I do make this mistake sometimes where if someone mentions I quit drinking or I'm sober or anything like that, immediately my antenna goes up and I go, oh, like we should be best friends. And it's like, well, you also might not have anything else in common with that person. And I am very open, and sometimes to my detriment. Like I've had people on the podcast who have kids, comics with kids, and they're like, yeah, I'm not going to talk about this or that because my kids are getting older and they're going to listen. But that doesn't register in my brain because like when I met my wife, who's a teacher, I was like alcoholic, been to rehab, lived in a halfway house, been arrested. Like I'm just a very open book. But I do realize that in the real world, not everyone's like that.
Right.
Which can be a good thing because you don't always need everyone knowing your business. But for what we do, it is a good way to connect with people so they understand like, oh, this is...
Exactly.
I think people register more when you talk about real stuff too on stage, which I'm sure you're finding. It's people are like, oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
The worst part is when they don't and you're like, cool, I'm doing a TED Talk now.
Yeah, no, exactly. But that, I always just save myself being like, oh, then I went to rehab for nothing. But
and that's the name of the episode.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get into it because I want to talk about the comedy stuff. But before we get too far into what you're doing now, let's talk about the beginning.
Yes.
How did you? Because stand-up comedy is a niche thing.
Yeah.
How did you find it? How did you get into it when you were a kid? Did your parents introduce you to it? Like, how did you find stand-up?
Well, this is actually a crazy. When I was a kid, I loved Cat Williams.
Okay.
I'm huge into like hip hop from when I was real young. I had an identity crisis then, but he did the skits on a Lil Kim album, and I was like, who is this? And then I fell in love with him, or his work. But my first stand-up show, I was 19, and my dad took me to see Don Rickles.
Oh, really? The roast master himself.
Yes, and it was me and a bunch of people over the age of 60 for 100%. My dad was the second youngest person there. So when he's calling, and his material is very, it's for a much older generation. So he was calling up, people from the audience to play Japanese soldiers in World War II. And I stick out like a sore thumb. So he's like, come up. And I start walking on stage, and he just points at me and goes, definitely gay.
Really?
Yeah, and I was not out. So for me, it
God,
was
what
like,
are you doing, man?
It was like,
did you panic?
No. At that point, when you're like really closeted and playing it, when people call you gay, you can't. If you panic, that's obvious.
Yes.
Like,
that's such a
so
good
funny.
call. Yeah.
I know we're
Don.
fucking crazy. I know. So that was my first stand-up show. And then, no, I never thought about it. When I was a kid, I wanted to be like a teen pop star.
Okay.
Like Lizzie McGuire movie.
100%.
You didn't see that. You were
definitely saw it.
Okay.
I was raised by my sisters.
Okay. That's fair. But, so I wanted to be a performer, but like realistically, I never really did anything with that.
So just in your head, you were like, I want to do something like that, but you didn't like ask your dad to sign up for acting classes or music classes or anything?
Did some acting classes actually at like, when the radio, when they're like, do you want to be a star?
Yeah.
Come audition. And so I did. And I mean, those classes, it's just a Ponzi scheme. I auditioned for some commercials and stuff. But anyway, and that was fun, but I didn't really pursue it. But anyway, I'm in New York. I came to New York to go to business school. So I always had like I was definitely a high functioning alcoholic in that, I worked in management consulting for 5 years, went to business school, went back into consulting. And in my second stint in consulting, I was like, I'm so miserable. I want to do something creative.
How old are you at this point?
At this point, I am 29, about to turn 30.
Okay.
And I'm 35 now.
Okay.
Wait, I'm 30, about to turn 31.
Okay.
Because June will be my 4 years.
Okay.
So June 4 years ago, I did the Industry Room. Yeah, the best first show, honestly.
Oh, it's. I mean, I joke about it a lot on stage.
Yeah.
Just because it is amongst comedians, it's kind of like, oh,
It's
that's
iconic.
funny. Yeah, it's iconic is a great word to put it, but it is fun because it is. For those of you who are uninitiated, it is a like 2.5 hour show where everyone's doing 5-minute sets. But it's a great way to get in.
Right.
Out of all the things in New York between the classes and this, the Industry Room is a great way to get seen, get spots if you're good enough, and keep going. So, but I do like to joke about it because the show itself is a slog. It is 2.5 hours, 5-minute sets. There's some people who have never done stand up and they're like, I figured I'd try it. And it's like, an open mic, maybe? This is what you wanted to.
So I did it and I crushed. And I can't watch the video now because I would just cringe every second. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I took the mic off the stand. But like.
And that was your first time doing traditional stand up?
I've done a few open mics. Okay. But like to prepare for it.
Yeah.
But
smart.
I crushed. And I mean, the way everyone crushes at the Industry Room.
It's one of my favorite.
It's amazing.
Ego boosting.
Yeah. And
especially because some of the other comics are so ill prepared, or some of the other people who are doing it are so ill prepared that if you come out there and you have just a little professionalism, people are like, bah!
Yeah, if you have a few jokes, if you have if you're having fun. And I walked off that stage and I was like, I've made it. I am famous. I hope there was a scout in the audience, so
Lizzie
just
McGuire
put me on tour. Literally. And but anyway, the way I got into all that was my friend Austin, who you've had on the podcast, had done it a few months, had done it twice. But I went and saw him in probably February of that year, and that planted the seed in my head, to which I was like, you can just like do this. Because Austin was like, you just call him and like he'll put you on the show. And like I had a ton of friends who like would come, see me and support me.
Yeah, between work and school, you probably had a ton of people.
And I mean, whether you're good or bad, they want to see.
Yeah. And they're supportive.
Yeah, and it was, oh my God.
If someone buys a ticket to that show, they want you to succeed. In my opinion.
I know, and that was before I knew.
Because it's not cheap. It's a $25 ticket, then you got to get 2 things, and so it's like you're not doing that to watch someone fail. Unless you're a sociopath.
Right. So anyway, Austin is how I got into it because I was so miserable at work and I was like, you know what? I could just do this.
Yeah.
And then from the second I did that, I was like, this is just what I'm, I haven't looked back since that. And like right after I did that, like my mom got sick and died in the span of like 4 weeks.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And like, and I will say she hated my Industry Room set. Oh my God. Oh my God. No, my mom, yeah, she was just like, your coworkers can see this.
Yeah, Mom, that was the point.
I know.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but that's
no. It's
as
funny.
one of her final things. She watches your first real set, and she's like, "This is terrible, Jack."
Yeah, and I mean, it's stuff like the topics you discuss in stand-up comedy are not something your mom is gonna like get on board with.
Yes, I have like, that problem too.
Now, 3 years later, 3 years in, my dad has now been to 2 shows. He came to my hour last month and like loves it and is just the most enthusiastic audience member.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so I see how looking back when it's the Industry Room and like someone thinks you're just doing this on a whim. And then you put it online, they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But now that, there's some traction, anyway, the's definitely
There's a lot of traction. You have a big following.
Yeah, so who I love very much. Very, very much. Yeah, I mean, I've been blessed with a lot of opportunities. I think as comics, we always think about the opportunities we get passed over for that
100%.
we don't have.
Yeah.
There is so
That's
much.
why I have that wall, to remind myself of all the cool things that I have done.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's all my podcast, my one-man show, art from friends.
Oh, look at that.
I have a little matchbook. My wife got it for me, Tracy. It's a little matchbook set she got on Esty, but it's every major club in the city.
Oh, that's so cool.
So like if I get to perform somewhere, I get to check it off, and I've checked off every single one on there except Caroline's because it's not there anymore.
That's epic.
But it is one, to your point, we tend to harbor on like, how is this person here and I'm not? I'm funnier than that person. Why'd they get that? So I had to put a visual aid to where I can be like, relax. You've also done some very cool things. Like it's not, there's plenty for everybody.
Right. Well, and like, I know now this is very much just two comics talking, but like 4 days before my Gotham audition, I went on the road with this huge comic, Joe Dombrowski. He's amazing. He's based out of Seattle right now, but he got big on like Ellen.
Oh, okay.
And
that's a big.
So it was like 6 sold out shows in Long Island and then in Connecticut. And I'm in, it's a room of, anywhere from 300 to 400 people. And I'm just crushing for 15 minutes. And that's like why you do it, right?
Yes.
You do it for that. That's the ultimate end goal. But then, you're being the person who's headlining. So I was like, wow, this is it. I've made it. And then 4 days later, I go into Gotham and it's like, you suck. And that's comedy.
That's 100%. I talk about this all the time. I will take weekends off because I feature for my very good friend, Matt Fulcheron. And so he'll be like, hey, we're going on the road. We're doing this date, this date, this date. Fly to this city. We'll rent a car, and then we're going to hit all these spots. And I'm like, you're getting on the plane as a comedian. Yeah. I'm getting on the plane, just a backpack, and I'm like, I'm fucking doing it. Jack, I'm doing it.
It's the best.
And you sit, and I pick my seat because I'm OCD tendencies with a lot of stuff. Flying is one of them because I get super anxious. So I'm always like as front to the plane as I can get that I can afford. I always try to pick a window. But you get on there and you're like, I know how to do it. I'm a pro. I'm a pro at doing this stuff.
Literally.
And then 2 days later, I'll be at the restaurant and someone's like, my steak is overdone. And I'm like, that's how you ordered it. Right. You said medium. Well, what? Yeah. And in my head, I'm like, I just got off a plane a day ago from doing 4 spots. Right. And getting paid for it. And right. Now I'm here getting yelled at by some 6-year-old woman about her steak.
Precisely.
It is a kind of a mind fuck because also it's New York. So there's comedy happening all the time. So sometimes you'll get booked on a show and you're like, hell yeah, I'll do it. Like a friend's producing it or, comics that you like or know are on the show. You're like, of course. Yeah. And then you show up and it's, it's New York. There's a lot to do. And there's not that many people there. And you're like...
Oh, there's like 2 people there.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, well, I decided to block off my entire Wednesday night to do this. And I'm basically just talking to myself in my bathroom to my mirror.
Right, right. No, I mean, I'll say yes to any show. Yeah. I always say yes to any show.
I've gotten better, and I've talked about this with a lot of other comics. I've gotten better at saying no to things where it doesn't logistically just doesn't make sense. Right. Which is because I will say yes to a lot of shows for the first time, but if I go there and do it and it's like, just a bad show. Yeah. Like they're not promoting or like there's no engagement or there's nobody there.
There's no built-in audience.
I'll just be like, okay, I'll make a mental note. And then if they ask me to do it again, I'm like, unless I'm getting paid, I'm like, I'm not. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know if this is from getting sober or from almost dying or whatever it is, but I value my time exponentially more than opportunities now. Yeah. Where you just go, it's not worth it. To take 3 trains to Brooklyn to perform for 3 people, like it's not worth it. Yeah. Which I've gotten better at, but it is hard to do, especially, being 4 years in, it is a lot more difficult to be like, actually, I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have.
You have a following to where you could do it.
I have done it once.
If you said "fuck off," I'm sure people would be like, "Yeah, he's kind of a big deal. We get it."
No, I mean no one's a big deal. Even the people that are a big deal aren't a big deal.
That's true. That's a good point.
And honestly, that's why I loved seeing. I love that you showed that you had like Caitlin Palufo on the show because I remember like years ago I saw her at the Cellar and she had couple tens of thousands of followers, but I was like, this is my favorite comic. She's hysterical. So to see her like blow up on Netflix is so
I was texting with her about it. I was like, this is awesome. I can't. And she, she's getting a million texts. So she's like, thank you so much. But I'm just like, because we're friends. So I'm just like, no, you don't understand. She's like, dude, literally, like my inbox is full. Like, she didn't say that. But in my head, I'm like, she's probably getting like a million DMs and texts and stuff right now. Maybe
I know.
I will run into her in like 2 weeks. Maybe I should just relax. But that is a cool thing. I've had that a lot with this show. Cam Patterson, who's now on SNL. came
wow.
on when he was visiting New York. He's a Florida guy, Florida boy.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine was like, you have to have him on. We had never met, and then I had
he
him
sober?
on. No. But this is my rule for the show. I'm sober. I'm the ex-drinking buddy. So I just have guests on to talk about their best and worst drinking, drug, and party stories. I have discovered having people who are now sober on makes for better stories.
Yes, to be clear, I went to rehab almost 7 years ago, clean and sober.
Yes,
years.
you are.
Yeah.
You are. Don't want to.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's funny you bring that up because that is something a lot of times where people are like, well, I'm not sober. And I go, no. I'm sober. I'm the sober one. You don't have to be.
Right.
But yeah, like him, Matt, to your point about Caitlin Palufo, that was me with Maddie Weiner. We moved to New York almost I think the same week.
When did you move here?
July of 2021.
Okay.
And so we moved to New York.
We probably met
We met
very
because
shortly
I think
thereafter.
I met you at one of Drew's things.
Yeah,
right
one
in
of the open
beginning.
mics. Yeah.
And so I remember going to the stand, and Maddie wasn't on the lineup or anything.
Yeah.
She had just gotten JFL New Faces, like she was auditioning for it or something.
Yeah.
She had just gotten it. That's why she moved from Chicago to New York. But I see her at the stand, and I go, this is one of the funniest people I've seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
So I go to the lineup, but she's not on it because she was a drop-in.
Yeah.
So I accosted her after the show, and I was like, that was so funny. Like, I need to follow you on social media. Like, you're so funny. And now she's a writer on SNL and completely blew up. And it is so cathartic was your word, which is a very good word, but it's also so vindicating to see it happen because you're like, oh yeah, I kind of know comedy.
Right.
Like I can see these people and know that they're funny, and then you get validated by the rest of the world also being like, yes, they are funny.
Right. No, exactly. And I mean, I had other friends who did the Kevin Hart show and got like a 60-second feature on. So it's like, and all those people, when they got booked, it was definitely the exact same feeling.
Mm-hmm. It's
like
the coolest.
You are just as excited, blah, blah, blah. And like, you have Caitlin, who I want to be friends with. I don't personally know her, but I was like, she deserves the world, and I knew that going in. But then you have other friends who's like, you had this huge opportunity, and then you get a 60-second edit, and I was like, it's wins and losses, and that's like both.
Yeah, to get the opportunity, but then they edit you almost completely out of the show. But. And I was saying this because my wife and I, we watched the first episode of the New York auditions. Then I heard from everybody how the other auditions didn't go so well. And it's like, oh, that checks out. Like, New York is the mecca for comedy, so that would make sense.
But they had some New York comics, like, in Chicago. They didn't do it.
I did notice that as well, yes. They were. Some people flew to other parts of the country to audition. Because I was like, I know that person. Why is it saying they were at the LA audition? Like, I was just on a show with them last week. But it was an interesting thing because Tracy was like, that's crazy that they were only on for like a 30-second soundbite. And I go, babe, it's not crazy. Because you know what they get to do for the rest of their life?
You have Netflix as a fucking credit.
100%. See, you and I know what's going on.
I know. Are you kidding? Dude, my
As Seen on Netflix will go on every flyer that they are ever on.
To my credit, to this day, I mentioned the hip hop thing. Like, I'm a super fan of Ja Rule and Murder Inc., back from childhood. And I was I've gotten to know him through that. And I was on his reality show, barely a speaking role, 11 years ago. It was one season, Follow the Rules. But I signed a waiver. And I'm like, to this day, my credit is MTV.
There you go.
He loves that.
100%.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And sometimes, this is so bad. I say Hulu because without my consent and without my knowledge, in one of the Britney Spears documentaries.
Because you're a huge Britney Spears fan.
Of course. And, I made the pilgrimage to Vegas to meet her. And they show, I get a bunch of texts when it's airing, and it's like, our picture is just featured. And I was like, this is amazing. Oh, my God. And then I watch a show, and it's like, her father would scream at her and then force her to meet 80 people. And then it's just like, me. Yeah.
No consent or anything. But
that's a fucking credit.
I have friends who they would go to live events, like wrestling events. Yeah. And if it would pan to them in the audience, they'd be like, as seen on TNT. And I'm like, You are
Dude,
technically
that's
on.
yeah, and that's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so smart.
But they would just pan to the audience, and if you saw them screaming, I did it one time when during the pandemic, AEW, which is a wrestling organization based in Jacksonville. I mean, it's national, but the headquarters are in Jacksonville. The owner of it was one of my regulars at the steakhouse, Morton's. And so he gave us all tickets to go to the friends and family only during the pandemic.
Right.
So I was like, there's no way I'm not going to get on TV because it's a live feed. And Jack, swear to God, one of the matches comes into the audience. And there's only like 100 of us because it's the pandemic.
Yeah.
It spills into the audience. And the whole time I'm just pointing at myself because I knew I'd get on TV. And I did. And forever I was like, is that a credit? That's not a credit? That's definitely a credit.
I think so.
I mean, just see me doing this on TNT live?
Yeah. You got to get really creative when it comes to the credits.
I've gotten shouted out on bigger podcasts, and I will tell other comics, like, I've been on this podcast. Just because they've shouted me out by name.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, why not?
Oh, and 100%. You cut it up. You put the video of them shouting you out.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it because you mentioned rehab. Obviously, you've been sober for a while. What was... Well, let's get into the stories, and then we'll get there. The country concert in high school.
Yes.
That was the first story you sent me.
Yeah.
Oh, a couple of just stock questions I ask everybody. When was the first time you drank?
I was 14.
Okay, so high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parents' liquor cabinet. I was babysitting my siblings. And I discovered liquor.
What was your attitude? And for context, when I was growing up, I had people in my life that would drink, mainly my ex-stepfather, and they'd become very abusive or loud. Or I'd have other people in my life make false promises and things would happen. And it was all centered around drinking. So I always thought drinking was like terrible until I tried it. And then I was like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah. What was your relationship with alcohol before that? Like, why did you go into the liquor cabinet to try it?
I was a very good kid. Mm-hmm. I did well in school, granted, I thought I was a rapper when I was in 5th grade. And I got really into Ja Rule, and his big song was Down Ass Bitch at the time. And I called this girl a down ass bitch and got kicked out of Catholic school. Ooh. But other than that, I was a very good kid. But and that wasn't me purposefully being bad. But
no, you thought, yeah.
And I think growing up, as a closeted gay, I didn't even know internally, you don't know, you don't accept it forever. It's total compartmentalization. But you always want to be cool and fit in, particularly when you don't.
Yes.
And I was always in settings where I didn't, or I was in settings where I really fit in as people were getting to know me. And they're like, oh, he's gay. And then I didn't.
Well, it's a paradox, too, because the harder you try to fit in because you know you don't fit in, the less you fit in.
And and the more people know that it upsets you that you don't, right? It's all of that. And alcohol, I was like, oh, if you do this, you're cool.
Okay.
That's I don't know if I've ever phrased it that way.
300 episodes. That's the general consensus.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I'm edgy, I'm cool, but that's why you do it.
Yes.
Then when you do it, you're like, oh, I'm free for the first time in my life.
That was my experience.
Yeah.
I tried it for the same exact reasons. I wanted to be cool. Tried it. All my anxiety and depression went away, and I went, oh, I'm to your point, to exactly what you said. I could never conceptualize it until you said that. Was my brain went, oh, I'm free.
Yeah. And
I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, take us through it. So then after that, you try it.
I tried it, and I would drink with friends when I could, and I loved drinking socially, because socially, you're free. Yeah. You're talking to people you wouldn't have the courage to talk to, which sounds so silly. It's about high school kids.
I know, but it's
and
not.
I imagine a 14-year-old saying that to me now, and I'm like,
just talk to him.
Well, yeah, and I'm like, you're both children. Who cares?
Well, but that feeling never goes away.
No.
In my experience, I can only speak to my experience, but that feeling has never gone away. I've said this before on the show, but I will go whether it's a mic, whether it's a show, if I walk into a place and I'm not on the lineup.
Yeah.
If I walk into a place and I look around and there's no comedians that I know, I will just do a lap, turn around and walk out.
Yeah.
Because I get so anxious about, I want to be accepted, but I'm a fucking loser. Nobody likes you. Get out of here. And I say this all the time. If I have an in, so if someone's like, hey, Brennan, this is Jack, and I meet you, then I'm hot. I'm in. Because we've met. Now the ice has been broken.
Right.
I can't cold approach anyone.
No.
I'm so bad at it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, and I was like that since a kid. Like, so it doesn't, that feeling of like, I just want to drink so I can relax has never gone away. It's gotten better for me in my 8 years of sobriety, but it's still never gone away.
I was going to say it like getting sober totally changed that. Mm-hmm. And not, you have days where you'll talk to anyone and you feel great, and you have days where you don't feel great.
There is something to that. I will say I've come home before and told Tracy, like, I've been sober for a long time. And I was letting it rip like I was drunk. I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but you'll say something because you're like having a fun time with your friends and you're just trying to connect, and I'll say something. Yeah. And then I go home and I go, why the fuck did you say that?
I know. I do that all the time. I think that's just like our personalities, though. Yeah. I think, yeah. Well, and I
have to make apology phone calls, and I've been sober for 8 years. And I'm so like, hey, dude, sorry I said that.
Yeah. Oh, I do that all the time. I'm so used to, and well, I mean, the thing is with drinking, having been an alcoholic, you're so used to making those phone calls. But
it doesn't even register. It's just like I wake up and I go, yeah, I should probably shoot a text to that person.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think twice about it. I'm just like, yeah, I got to do this.
Right. No, I mean, that's just me being an open book and also saying things for a reaction.
Yes, I do that a lot.
And yeah, the deeper I get into comedy, the better or worse it's gotten, but the more I just like subconsciously say shit for a reaction.
Mm-hmm. It's normally okay around other comics.
Yeah.
But it can, but again, sometimes I'll say things for a reaction, even around comics. I'm like, why the fuck did you say it? Like, you're an idiot.
Oh,
but
yeah.
A lot of times if I text them like, yo, I was just joking around, they're like, I don't even remember what we were talking about. The time where it has bit me in the ass, and I'm sure you've gotten this too, is when you are around civilians, like people not in comedy.
Yeah.
And you say something for a reaction. Like Tracy comes from a very well-adjusted family. They're very supportive. They love me very much, and I love them. But I will say things, and they'll look at me like, the fuck did you just say?
Yeah. Totally.
Sorry. I ruined the dinner.
Right. Absolutely. But you have to give credit the other half of the time when you say things and people are like, oh my, you're the funniest person I've ever
and it
met.
crushes?
Yeah.
I've had that experience before too with people who are not in comedy who are like, really? You're still trying to do comedy at 38? And I will lead them and then I'll make them laugh without them having any knowledge of it whatsoever. And I'm kind of like, yeah, see, I still am doing comedy.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I laughed because blah, blah, blah. And I go, nah, I did that on purpose.
In my head, it's 200%. It's the same mechanism as crowd work.
Yes.
Like, put this out there, and then if you're like,
watch this.
It triggers the same response in your brain. It's like, oh, I bombed.
Yeah,
or
100%.
Like, oh, I crushed.
Yeah.
But then if I crush. If you crush with a civilian and you keep it going, then you end up going too far.
Oh, 1,000. At work, this happens a lot where I'll say something and everyone will laugh.
Yeah.
And then I sometimes do it too far, and then everyone's like, all right, man, we get it. And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I bombed. Or I will have it where I'll say something funny at work and I'll put it in my phone, like as a note, because I have a whole, like we all do, new jokes tab.
Yeah.
And then I'll try it on stage, and everyone looks at me like I have 9 heads, and I go, oh yeah, it was funny in the moment.
Right.
I had a comedian tell me one time, if you ever think you have to say the words you should have been there or you had to be there, don't say it on stage.
Right.
Because none of them have been there. None of them were there.
Exactly. Well, and that's another tricky part about like this, talking about the sobriety stuff is, when you're approaching rock bottom, like stuff isn't where you have your craziest stories. That stuff's not relatable or palatable.
Yes.
So there are so many qualifiers almost. You have to like bring in, to let the audience know. And half of it is like, they see you're healthy, you're good. So like they'll laugh. But, you you don't want to do jokes or bits that have too much education required.
That's why I have a joke about it, but that is why I did a one-man show instead of an hour for my first time. Because I had all this stuff about getting sober that's not funny.
Yeah.
And at the moment when I wrote it, I did not have the talent, nor did I have the capacity to make it funny as it needed to be.
Right.
I could make jokes about it, but I couldn't talk about my last drunk and make it special level funny.
Right.
I could, out of a 1 to 10, I could make it like a 4 or a 5.
Right.
But I couldn't make it an 8 or a 9, which is what it needs to be for it to be in a comedy special, in my opinion. So I had a friend be like, you should do a solo show. And I was like, oh, that's genius. I'll just rebrand it. So if it's not funny, that's still okay.
Yeah.
It's allowed to be dramatic.
Yeah.
But that's a great point. So now, like the hour that I'm doing on Sunday, it is all the material from getting sober that I know is in that 7 to 10 range.
Yeah.
And I took out all the really sad, dramatic stuff that I do have jokes about, but it's like, yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
I can't carry those.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting point you bring up about the sobriety because, and I joked about it earlier, but it's true. If you get into it and people don't understand it, it turns into a TED Talk.
Yeah.
For me, at least, because I've had bits where I think they're hilarious about getting drunk. I have a story about the scar I have on my forehead and how I got it.
Oh, yeah.
I got really drunk and I cut my own face because I got into a fight with a teammate. And to prove a point, I was like, I'll kill you. And Jack, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
For years. Like when I got back into comedy when I got sober in 2018. So from 18 to probably 22, that was my big closer. That was my machine story like Bert Kreischer has. Because I was like, no one will ever forget this.
Yeah.
But then I had a friend, Christina Shriver, shout out. She lives in Chicago now. She would always tell me like, that story people laugh at because they're nervous. It's nervous laughter. It's not genuinely like, oh, it's a funny, crushing story.
Right.
And I disagreed with her, and I was dying on that hill.
Yeah.
But to your point and to her point, it wasn't funny. It was more intent. It was more reaction baiting. And so I don't do it. It was my closer for 4 years, and I just don't do it at all anymore.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, this isn't.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't it so bizarre? Where it's like, oh, this is too far. This isn't palatable, to use your word. This isn't. People aren't enjoying this. They're kind of like, haha, yeah.
Right. Right. Well, and that's the thing. There are
crazy.
things that like kill in AA meetings that like.
Oh.
Yeah.
You write down and then you try it on stage and people are like, it's actually sad.
Yeah. Like, oh man.
Well, let's talk about it. So 14, you tried drinking.
Yes.
You enjoy it. What happened in high school at the country concert?
Yeah. Well, so in high school, I went to school in D.C. So half the kids are Maryland, half of them Virginia.
Mm-hmm. You lived in D.C. for a while. That's where you're?
I grew. Yeah, born and raised. I grew up technically in Bethesda, Maryland, but I went to all boys Catholic high school. I went back to Catholic school after my expulsion.
So you went from one Catholic school to another?
I went to Catholic school through 5th grade, got kicked out, went to public school, and then went to like all boys Catholic Jesuit school. Yeah. But we would all go to country concerts in Virginia because that's where you would tailgate and get drunk. Mm-hmm. And that was the thing to do. My first concert ever, I mean, you said it, like I'm obsessed with Ja Rule and Britney Spears. My first concert ever was Toby Keith. May he rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Yeah. No, so
boot up your ass. That's the only line I know.
Such a banger. I know. It's I do love that song. We were going to, and this was junior year now. So, I'd been drinking. I figured, you figure out what drive-through, like sketchy liquor store 40 minutes away will sell you handles of alcohol. And I had like two 20-ounce bottles of just Smirnoff vodka, like water bottles of Smirnoff vodka. And this is so gay. I went to a 7-Eleven, and like country concerts, it's all like, the good old boys and then like girls. And then there was me I went to 7-Eleven and got like the giant big gulp of lemonade. And I had 36 ounces of vodka mixed with lemonade, because with lemonade, you don't taste it.
You're just going.
I had never been drunk like that. I thought I was near death, and I was not. And then what do you do? Because you're at a tailgate, and you're incapacitated.
Yeah.
And so someone was like, "Well, we got to carry him in."
What?
Yeah.
There was no like, hey, someone call his dad or someone call somebody?
Well, someone did call my dad, and it was a police officer. So, yeah, so I get in.
But your friends are like, let's just carry him in.
Oh, yeah,
Weekend
They're
at
like,
Bernie's
let's carry
style.
him in. Yeah, and you know, granted, we're all like drunk 16-year-olds trying to do what's best. And they, so they carry, you know, I don't know how I got through the gates.
Yeah,
I don't, because I
normally they
couldn't
turn you
stand
away,
up.
yeah.
I couldn't stand up. So then we're like in, and I'm you know, moseying around, and I just like immediately like collapse and start projectile vomiting, and then like these you know, I just see these shoe prints walk up, and I vomit all over the shoes, and they're 2 undercover cops.
Of course.
So they take me to country concert jail, or you know, just the holding area which is all just underage kids.
Just hammered.
Wait, and this will get back to the point. I was such a good kid, and my parents, God bless, they were not drinking. Like, they raised me very well. My dad was always like, if you ever get in trouble with the police, you just say yes, sir, to everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm on autopilot, completely blackout. You know, and they start writing up my citation, and I'm just like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it was a female cop.
Oh, no, but you're blacked out. You're not paying attention.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you know, they know this, but they call my dad, and my dad, I just remember like waking up on the pavement, and you know, it's a little holding place, not even my dad I just see the headlights pull up, and I'm like, oh my God. And my dad gets out, and they're like, he was so polite that we're not giving him a citation.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, but it was a disaster. I mean, I was grounded.
Yeah.
I was like ultra
In context, not awesome, but
grounded forever. Oh my God. It was like, yeah, man, my curfew then senior year was like 10 p.m. for a while. And thank God. Dude, my senior year, my curfew was 11:30, second half of senior year. And I was always like, this is so unfair, blah, blah, blah. All my friends can stay out, and I'm being persecuted. And I think in rehab, I called my mom, and I was like, thank God. Mm-hmm. Thank God you were as strict. And not even that they were that strict, but just thank God.
Strict enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it can go the opposite way.
God.
I moved out as soon as I graduated high school. I moved out, and before I went to college, I took like basically 2 semesters off.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know if I want to go to college.
Yeah.
So I just got my own place, and I was the only kid who had his own place because everyone either went to college or stayed at home with their parents.
Yeah.
I had my own apartment in
Did you grow
Daytona
up
Beach,
in Florida?
I grew up in Florida. So I was the only kid out of my entire circle, friends or otherwise, that had their own place. So when everyone would come back into town, whether it was for winter break or whatever, we would party at my house because everyone still lived with their parents.
Right.
And to your point, it went the opposite way.
Right.
I was just getting blackout drunk. And then I put everything back together because I wanted to play college football. So I basically spent 2 semesters living on my own. My uncle came to me and was like, can you still play? Let's get you into school so you can play. And so then I took my addictive mindset and I put it into that.
Yeah.
And I ended up going to college to play football. But it was, without rules, it can be very, because I just think like, oh, I know what's best for me. Even though I'm 17, 18, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. So what happened, because you were born and raised in D.C., and you had sent me something on the list about the psychiatrist.
Oh, yeah.
So how old were you when this happens?
So the psychiatrist, this is, fast forward, I go to college.
Where'd you go?
Brown in Rhode Island. Yeah. So
You'd be shocked how many comedians are Ivy League people.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, because we're a little crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and we're, creative, but like fed to be corporate.
Yeah. So you go to Brown.
Yeah, and I was at Brown. I built my perfect straight life.
Okay.
In that I go there, you know, I have a like Bieber bowl cut with like blonde streaks.
I could not imagine you with
I'll send you a picture. It's so
Please.
yeah. Can
you
can
use it
put
for the cover art?
Of course. But I you know, joined a fraternity, which like aren't really a thing at Brown. Yeah.
You were really playing. I mean, I know you said you were built this perfect straight life, but
Oh, I became such a because I was always going out. I was drinking, you know, so I was always the guy to drink with. I got really into weed, which is great. I mean, you know, who doesn't at a school like Brown? But man, I had girlfriends. I was sleeping with women. A lot of whiskey dick, which I talk a lot about on stage. Whiskey dick.
Mm-hmm.
But
is that? I can't imagine how difficult that must be.
What?
Because physiologically, you're not attracted sexually to this person, but then you're like,
yeah, and you're figuring it out, but like realistically, no.
Yeah, because I openly talk about it all the time, but I have a problem with that, a physiological problem, but mine's more mental, where my anxiety is so bad to the point where even I used to drink because I wouldn't be able to, one, talk with women, or two, make a move.
Yeah.
Like, Tracy, my wife, jokes all the time. She's like, you didn't kiss me till like the 5th date. And that's because I get in my head about this stuff. So I couldn't imagine being as anxious as we are naturally as comedians, pairing that with being deeply closeted, and then like, hey, now go perform.
Yeah. So
to me, I'm like, nope.
But that's where alcohol.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes it was great. So, at the end of the day, it was a minority of times.
Yeah.
It was great. But anyway, so I graduate from Brown, and at this point, I'm so depressed, and I have a raging alcohol problem, and I've started doing uppers, not addictively, simply from an access perspective, but when I would do uppers, I would be on, and then I would be so depressed for like 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah, that crash is real. It's a real thing.
Well, especially when you're naturally very depressed.
Yeah.
And I, you know, so I went into the real world and was at my lowest low mentally with myself, and was like, you know, I had expressed suicidal ideations, and this is, you know, very common, if not textbook, for, you know, gay guys our age, or you like, I can't speak for younger generations, but like growing up gay in the 90s and early 2000s, still not good.
Yeah, I have a lot of guests on who've talked about it.
Man, I was a raging alcoholic in the years after college, and it was so bad. And I lived in Philly for a time. I moved to DC. There are, you know, 9 million stories I could have put here. And, you know, what alcoholics don't often say, and what people don't often realize is, you know, 60%, maybe even 75% of nights you go out,
Yeah.
it's normal.
That is a thing where the reason I did it for so long was because the bad things weren't as common as the unbad things.
Right.
I won't say great times, but like a lot of times, go home, have a couple of drinks, go out with my friends,
Yeah.
come home, wake up the next day hungover, but I'm like, yeah, it was a fun night.
Right, but it was just a night,
Yeah.
you know. And particularly once I moved, so I moved to DC, I'm working as a consultant, and I'm starting to go out to like gay spaces, and it's so funny because when you're closeted, I was like, oh, if I come out, I'm the man. No, you were the most insecure person in a room of piranhas, you know, like, and which is just to say, like, I mean, this was definitely a DC gay thing. Like, everyone is so, you have to present so well, and I'm so insecure, and I would just black out if I was around gay people.
Oh, really?
And it, you know, and more nights than not didn't end well.
Yeah.
Because up until that point, and even after that point, like I mainly went out with straights, and like those nights mainly fine.
Yeah.
But going out with gays, I was so uncomfortable in my own skin, I would black out. And someone said in this time in DC, like, oh yeah, Jack Sullivan, like he either like tries to kiss you or tries to fight you.
Really?
Yeah, and I never got into at fist fights, but it's more of a, I guess, verbal altercations. So all
Doing
this is
crowd
to
work
say,
at the bar.
oh my god,
Fuck you.
yeah. But all of this to say, I learned that in DC there was this pill mill psychiatrist. And pill mill, basically like the psychiatrists who see anywhere from 10 people in 1 minute. Mm-hmm. And
just writing scripts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have those. We had those a lot in Florida for pain medication.
yeah.
We had OxyContin pill mills.
And there was that Netflix doc,
Yeah,
The
that was
Pharmacist.
huge in Florida.
And this is so DC, right? In DC, everyone's on Adderall.
Yeah. It is interesting. The different parts of the East Coast you'd go to would be the different pill mills.
Yeah.
So in DC, it's a psychiatrist. In Florida, it's a rehab, like a physical therapy rehab.
Right. And in DC, it was just this ZocDoc, and I go and I'm like, this is crazy. And I was like, oh, I can't concentrate. And he's like, you need 25 milligrams of Adderall.
25 is a lot to start off on.
Oh yeah, and I would take like half when I started. I mean, within a year.
Normally, for the listeners, when you start on Adderall, it's 5 to 10 max.
Yeah.
If it's 10, it's time release, and they tell you to take it in the morning.
Yeah.
So to just start someone on 25 off rip.
Yeah, it was. Oh, I started on 20. And then by the time I was taking 40 a day, I was like, because I would take half the prescription. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so the whole point is, I was like, I'm an alcoholic. I need to like get control of my life. So instead of being like, I need to get sober, I was like, oh, I need Adderall.
That's so how we do things. Too.
I know.
That is so. I remember I would do a lot of Coke, but it wasn't because I was addicted to Coke. It's because I wanted to keep drinking.
Right.
So it's like, I need to get my life under control. Someone give me an 8-ball.
And the problem is, right, one, for 2 weeks it worked. Man, I was going out. I was hot stuff. I was getting real toned. But man, if you were a messy blackout drinker, if you black out and the second the Adderall starts wearing off, you are a terrorist. I was a fucking disaster, man.
I don't mean to laugh, but it's so funny.
No, please. Oh my God. But anyway,
you can see it on a chart, just the Adderall waning and then just beep, 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 beep.
And this will start to get into my next story. But this psychiatrist, I didn't know that pharmacies could do this. CVS as a corporation, like all of the pharmacies in DC are CVS, right? In New York, they're all Duane Reade, Walgreens, right? But like every corner of DC is a CVS. There's one Walgreens, and I know that Walgreens very well because he had a stock photo of a CVS on his wall. And then with handwriting over it is, CVS is being uncooperative with our refills. Do not go to CVS. It looked like the burn book from Mean Girls.
Really?
Right? Like CVS is a fugly skank bitch. Do not trust her. It was
So you had to go to Walgreens.
insane. Yeah. No, so I went to Walgreens and I told that joke on stage for the first time 3 weeks ago in one of these shows that you were describing that had 8 people and 4 of them were comics. Still got a good crowd work tape though, if you know where to put the camera.
Yep.
It was so silly.
Hero shot close to the stage, tight.
Oh yeah. Oh, especially if you're in slutty gay clothes. So yeah, sorry,
I did
you
see
can't
that
do
clip.
that.
I did see that clip.
Oh, that one. Well, that one. Oh, that was a magnum opus of slutty gay clothes, and because that was an open mic.
Oh no way!
Yeah, but a guy brought like 10 people to the open mic. Anyway, what was this? I told this joke on stage, and it's 2026. I went to him in 2017, 2018, and these 2 girls who are there start dying laughing and whispering to each other.
No fucking way, Jack.
They went to him too.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you, he was, and I messaged like a gay friend from DC, and he started going silent when I said I was writing a bit, and he was like, I know I shouldn't still go to him. He was indicted by the feds for $100 million wire fraud because he's collecting money from insurance.
Yeah,
all that. Anyway, he's still practicing, I think.
That's insane.
Yeah, man. So, you know, when all the Adderall shortage stuff came out, I was like, yeah, I see where.
Yeah.
I wonder what percent is due to that, man. But this will lead naturally into my next story. It's not even a story so much as a theme, but I have an example, so it's a story. When I would black out and like get wasted on a bunch of Adderall, I wouldn't call people. I wouldn't text people. I would post on every single one of my social media platforms, which
That's insane.
it was terrorist behavior to myself.
You heard of drunk texting? How about I send this out to the world?
Oh, man. I mean, because sometimes it was like suicidal thoughts. Sometimes it was just tirades. And I'll tell this story because this is fine. It was mortifying because also then you're blackout, so you don't wake up until like 2 p.m. the next day.
And so many people have seen it.
Oh my God, dude. There was this one time I had gotten home, I guess, I'll just tell it from waking up on Sunday. I had posted a bunch of statuses on Facebook. Life isn't fair. People are inherently bad to you. The world is an unkind and evil place. Someone stole my phone. I think my phone was stolen by Chinese spies. It went on and on and on. And this was, multiple statuses. And this was back when like Facebook, that was the thing, people were on it. Yeah. And I wake up and I just have a text that's like, hey, you left your phone at my apartment. Like I just left my phone at a pregame, but I went on this tirade.
You went on your laptop to post this tirade.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And somehow it's all spelled great. But, oh, my God. I woke up and I was just like, and this is a common occurrence.
This is just happening.
This is a common occurrence. Once I was at a club and I was Capitals hockey lifelong season ticket holder, and we love Alex Ovechkin. Alex Ovechkin is our Jesus. I've since met him. He met my dad when my dad was in Russia. But anyway, great guy.
Yeah.
We love him. He acknowledged me, but like that was it at a club. And apparently I wanted, a photo or more of an interaction. And
We're friends, Ovi.
I go on a fucking
No,
tirade.
you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I was like on Facebook and I was like, fuck Alex Ovechkin. Who the fuck does he think he is? Blah, blah, blah. And like my parents are getting calls. And I'm like, oh, and they're like, what happened with Ovechkin? And then you have to explain to someone the next day because you can't just be like, oh, I'm an alcoholic and my life is unmanageable. So, I had to be like, oh, man, we were at a club and he was mean.
You have to try to spin it like you're not the bad guy.
And I hear people do this now even. And like, you're explaining something and I'm like, you can hear that I'm insane. Like there is no like possible way in which this makes sense. Oh my God. It was all just, it's so bad and so cringe. And I say now, I wish I had like a coffee table book.
Yeah.
And those are two of the more harmless examples. Like I would, reveal personal information about people who I thought had wronged me.
Just doxing people.
Quite literally.
Some of the more heinous ones I've obviously since deleted. But I will still, because, we have to post on every platform. So I'll go on Facebook to post whatever, my clips or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And you click on the memories.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, I'll be quoting, like, because I do a lot of movie lines. It's like I have 15 minutes of material on it. But
yeah,
I would make my Facebook status like some super depressing movie line where basically inferring that I was going to unalive myself.
I did that with a Rihanna lyric.
Yeah, just to see how many people would respond to see if I was loved.
Yeah. I did that with a Rihanna lyric. And I wasn't even blackout. I was depressed. And my friend texted me and was just like, LOL, what is this?
LOL before.
And I was like, oh my God. Man, I wish I would just call people,
Yeah, just drunk text because then you only have one person to apologize to.
It was so, and like that, just exacerbates, because when you're like, living as a functional alcoholic and drug addict at this point, right, with Adderall, you carry so much shame with you regardless, just chemically your brain, like that's what, and imagine the shame that just compiles of like, oh my man, people saw this status this weekend, people saw that. Oh my God. This is funny. I used to, for Mother's Day every year, I would post like a picture of me and Ashanti's mom. Yeah. And this was like 10, 12 years ago. And in one of the posts, like, I guess I was blackout drunk on Mother's Day, and I just hashtag like, I want to kill myself.
Jesus
Christ. But totally normal posts, totally normal hashtags. And then at the end, and like, looking back, I'm like, I can see how people thought you were just like making fun of yourself in a dark way.
Like, oh, I want to kill myself. This is cringe for posting.
Yeah. But I woke up and I was like, oh my, because like she would like they'd see it.
Yeah.
They would see, and I was just like, oh my God, no. So now whenever I see like any of the, and they don't think of me at all, but I'm always like, I'm this many years sober. I'm this many years sober. Thank you for being nice to me when I was not.
It is. I think there is something to speak of, because I don't know if you had this experience, but I would always get, not always, but a lot of times I would get second and third chances with people in my life.
Yeah.
Because I think at the heart of everything, they knew I was a good person. I was just something mentally was broken.
Yeah. And a lot of people have said that to me. Yeah.
And so it is, because I have friends, close friends, and obviously family, where I did things where it was like, they have no reason to have me in their lives at all because of some of the actions that I took when I was drinking and using. But I think a lot of people have welcomed me back with open arms, especially now being sober as long as I have, because it is a situation where they go, no, you're naturally an empathetic person. You're a good person. You try to do what's best for everyone else, sometimes to my own detriment. That's people pleasing 101. But it's like I do go out of my way for other people because that's just by nature who I am. And they could see that in me.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, of course. When you got sober and you fixed things up, of course we let you back in our lives.
Yeah.
Which is odd because some of the shit I did, to your point, some of the shit that I did, it was like, why would you ever talk to me again? Not even from like a heinous perspective, just as like we're just going to write that person off.
Right. And
they're obviously a little loosey-goosey.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think, I had my best friend, Lucas, at the time, like one of my straight best friends from college, said to me after, and this was like, we went out the night I learned my grandpa died. And like this, but this was just like a Thursday. I would go out, blackout, Adderall, of course. And, he said later, he's like, you're a really good person, but like, I just don't know what's going on. Because there was clearly, it's alcohol, it's drugs, but it's also all the psychological stuff that
we say it all the time. The alcohol and the drug use is merely a symptom of something else that's going on.
Right.
Dude, this was so much fun. We got to get out of here, but we got to have you back on. We got to talk about getting sober, video boost. We got to talk about your life now.
Yes.
So much stuff. Plug everything before you get out of here. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Threads at Jack Sullivan Comedy. Facebook is just my normal Facebook. Facebook's been great these days. You share videos to Facebook?
Yeah. I just had one get a little bit of traction.
Amazing.
Just yesterday.
Facebook. I have, if you're in New York, I have a Pride show on June 17th at Greenwich Village Comedy Club. And I'm running my hour, which will hopefully be a new hour, September 9th at Broadway Comedy Club and November 13th at the Laurie Beekman Theater.
Beautiful.
So look out for tickets in my bio.
We'll link everything in the show notes. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. At Brennan T. Comedy on all social media, BrennanTComedy.com. Special went great. By the time this comes out on Monday, the special was yesterday, and it was fantastic. So thank you, everybody, for coming out. Look for that on YouTube, and we'll talk to y'all next week. Boom.